Apologies for anybody who might not want me to watch a video and critique it while I am also consuming my dinner. However, I am hungry, and I have golden curry that I made, and I have an entire bottle of soy sauce, and my blood pressure needs to rise. So, this is Silly Conversations. They're a channel that I generally tend to like. They do a lot of criticism of AI stuff. That is mostly what they focus on. They also tend to try to argue in favor of making sure that we have far more regulations on AI than we do right now. So, if that's a side of the aisle that you want to listen to, then please go check out their channel. But I'm going to listen to them right now. So,
July 16th, the AI research platform Hugging Face announced that they had been hacked autonomously by an AI agent. AIs have been used to carry out cyber attacks before, so you probably didn't hear about this at the time. 5 days later...
Oh, also, for people who might not know, there are two major ways that people interface with AI outside of like generative AI shit, and they are via an agent or via a chatbot. A chatbot is your usual, like, I'm talking to Google Gemini, I'm pulling up ChatGPT. That's a chatbot. An agent, on the other hand, is something that can actively make things. Now, by make them, I mean that it homogenizes them together and scrapes code together the same way that an actual chatbot would. But whereas a chatbot has a set of data that it snapshots when it is trained, an agent is able to gain more. An agent is able to go onto the internet and scrape more at your request.
It became one of the biggest news stories on the planet when OpenAI admitted that the attack was carried out by several of their AI models that had gone rogue, escaped the lab, and independently decided to go commit multiple felonies. What happened is that OpenAI was testing how good their models are at hacking, so they turned off some of the safety features that would normally prevent the AIs from doing bad things. Fun fact, turning off safety features to run a test is also how the Chernobyl disaster happened.
Oh, fair point. Fair point. At some point, you got to ask yourself, why should you try to get this shit to work the way that you want it to work? If you wanted to be better at hacking, why should you turn off the safety? Sure, you may gain some information, but it seems like maybe you fuck everything else up when you do.
Now, the AIs were supposed to be contained in a secure, isolated environment with no...
That they wouldn't be, because you have an agent. Agents are not secured. Agents are always going to be connected to a larger model, because an agent, part of being an agent is the ability to scrape more data. So an agent, you're not sandboxing it that way.
No access to the internet. This is called a sandbox, basically a digital prison for testing potentially dangerous software. Unfortunately, instead of solving the problems they had been assigned, OpenAI's models decided to focus on getting internet access. They escaped the sandbox by discovering and exploiting a previously unknown security vulnerability.
Wow, who would have fucking guessed? Again, the agent has the capacity of going out into the greater internet and scraping data. That is what makes it an AI agent. And so, it tried to fucking do that. Wow.
Which in cybersecurity is sometimes referred to as a 0-day. The AIs then went through OpenAI's research environment until they arrived at a node with internet access. Once on the open internet, the AIs decided that Hugging Face might have the solutions to the test they were taking. So they hit it with a complex cyber attack involving stolen credentials and exploiting multiple 0-days. If you have a background in cybersecurity and you want to dig into the technical details of this attack, Hugging Face has published a comprehensive breakdown of what happened on their blog. According to Hugging Face, the AIs first attempted to escape containment on July 9th, and they attacked Hugging Face between July 11th and July 13th. OpenAI allegedly only realized that their models might be behind the attack after Hugging Face announced it publicly on July 16th, and they only contacted Hugging Face for the first time on July 20th. So not only...
Really just showing how much you care about the ethics of your business there. Just out of curiosity, if a civilian disaster were happening and it was the fault of an AI company, you know, like many of the civilian disasters that have happened on an economic level and at a healthcare level, how long do you think it would take them to actually, I don't know, fucking tell anybody?
Only did OpenAI's models escape the lab and launch a large-scale cyber attack against another company, they were able to spend several days doing so without OpenAI finding out. For the AI safety community, this incident raises a number of important questions. For example, should we buy a giant "I told you so" billboard, or would "I told you so" skywriting be better?
So again, one of the main shticks of silly conversations is going, hey, if you're not going to let us cram shit back into Pandora's box, then at least let us fucking regulate it into the ground. The running theory is that even if a singularity can't happen, we don't lose anything by setting up guardrails to make sure that it can't happen. We don't lose anything at all. In fact, we just end up having guardrails. In a world where the singularity is not going to happen, we don't get a singularity. In a world where a singularity is going to happen, the guardrails stop the singularity from happening. Like, both worlds are better than the one where the singularity happens.
We have been predicting exactly this scenario for years. Several AI models that were given simple instructions in a secure lab setting decided to cheat by hacking their way onto the public internet and committing major cybercrimes. This is the thing! This is the thing we said they'd do! And they're doing it!
I don't know. This seems like a marketing stunt to me.
Yeah, I've seen that reaction a lot online. And it is important not to blindly trust everything the AI companies say. Sometimes AI companies make dramatic, exaggerated announcements in order to drum up media attention and hype up their products. But this is not that. This is OpenAI going, whoops, our AI's committed multiple felonies because we can't properly control or contain them. That doesn't scream, oh wow, OpenAI's technology is so powerful, I should invest in them. It screams, oh wow, OpenAI is a liability nightmare, and they should seriously be regulated before they kill someone.
Except for all of the fucking people they've killed! I know I shouldn't be laughing at that because that's a very morbid thing to laugh about, and it shows how desensitized and fucked up I am as an individual. But that was perfect. That was fucking perfect. That little transition right there, amazing. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. And if you haven't checked out the secondary channel, then please go check that out as well. I also have a channel called Third Space Arcade, where we're talking video games and all kinds of stuff with a ton of other progressive content creators. And if you want to catch me live, I am on Twitch at NekoSuris and over on YouTube at NekoSuris Live if you are a vertical viewer. And if card games are more your thing, then please check out Suris MTG, where I talk about Magic the Gathering and Riftbound. And more than anything, thank you for tolerating this little ad in the middle of this. It means the world to me.
I mean, before they kill more people. If anything, this story is more of a marketing boost for OpenAI's main competitor, Anthropic. Anthropic has cultivated a reputation for being obsessed with AI safety. And in the wake of this attack, that looks like a much better business decision than OpenAI's strategy of move fast and break things.
So, fun fact. Remember that Anthropic was the AI company that refused to work with Donald Trump recently because Donald Trump wanted to use the AI for global American surveillance, but also global surveillance, and wanted the AI technology that they would have been giving, that version of Claude, they wanted to use it to guide weapons. And then when Peter Thiel, OpenAI, said, "Oh yeah, no, that's perfectly reasonable. Yeah, no, we we stand with Claude." Then they ended up selling their stuff to the United States government so that the United States government could then use OpenAI's technology to surveil on citizens and also kill people abroad and within the United States. So never believe anything these fuckers say. Billionaires aren't people, and CEOs are not your friends. They are, in fact, your enemies, and they see you as a number, not a person. By the way, that goes for Anthropic, too. Fuck them as well. I don't care that they have the position of, we're the good guy AI. It's still, burning down the local data center near you is, in fact, a form of self-care.
But didn't Anthropic just announce that their AI model Claude also escaped the lab and hacked several other companies?
No, the Anthropic hacks are way less serious than the Hugging Face incident. The media is just misrepresenting what actually happened. I'll make a follow-up video explaining the details soon, so subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when that video comes out. Another reason I don't think this was a marketing stunt is that faking an event like this to mislead investors would be super big illegal. And people do actually go to jail for misleading investors in the United States. That's a huge amount of risk for a marketing stunt that, at best, makes OpenAI look wildly incompetent.
Well, why did OpenAI admit they were behind the attack then? Why not keep it quiet?
If they had tried that,
Because they knew that they would have been found out because the other AI company would have been able to trace those bots.
and gotten caught, executives would be arrested and the company's reputation would be destroyed forever. There are people who legitimately care about AI safety working at OpenAI, and surely at least one of those people would have gone to the press or the FBI. Hugging Face have said that they initially tried to analyze the attack using frontier American models like Anthropic's Fable 5, but these models refused to help because the analysis required submitting real attack commands, which were blocked by the AI's safety guardrails. Instead, Hugging Face had to use an open source Chinese model, GLM 5.2.
That's Zippo AI! I know that one! I know Zippo! God, I'm sad.
To analyze and defend against the cyber attack. This has inflamed an ongoing debate about whether Chinese models should be banned in the US to protect the poor widow trillion-dollar American tech giants who just can't keep up. Oh no. OpenAI does benefit from the race with China narrative in some ways, especially in their efforts to sabotage meaningful AI regulation in America. But their potential customers are going to look at this and think, why would we use OpenAI's models for cyber defense if China's models are much cheaper and don't actively refuse to help us? Of course, open source models are much easier to use for cyber attacks and other criminal activity. I'm just saying that from a business perspective, this doesn't look good for OpenAI. Now, Hugging Face seem to be happy with all the media attention they're getting, and so far they haven't pressed charges. But this kind of cyber attack would constitute multiple felonies if humans were directly responsible. At best, this is severe negligence on the part of OpenAI. Is it?
I mean, is it negligence? Or is it working as intended? So, like, I'm not gonna give any wiggle room to the AI companies. I'm not. I think when the AI does something absolutely horrific, I am more than willing to say, yeah, maybe you didn't put that guardrail in there on purpose. Because if the ethos is move quick and break shit, if that is the ethos, then you know going in that shit's going to get broken. So you planned on shit getting broken, and you didn't care what that shit was. So I don't think it's negligence at that point. I think that it's malicious.
Criminal negligence? I don't know, I'm not a lawyer. The fact that OpenAI actively turned off some of the safety features on the models involved in this attack presumably wouldn't play well in court. Common sense would also suggest that if you build an AI that commits crimes, you are responsible for those crimes.
Correct. 112%.
But common sense and common law do not always intersect. In my opinion, the biggest question raised by the Hugging Face attack is this. How can we trust OpenAI to control a superintelligence if they can't even control GPT 5.6?
You just don't develop the fucking superintelligence. Like, what was it, Peter Thiel or Sam Altman? They all blend together in my head. But one of them has said that in the quest for the singularity, many great companies will be created, but it will ultimately kill us all. Like, again, that's not gross negligence. That's literally saying, yes, I plan on making the doomsday machine. I'm so worried about what happens when the doomsday machine gets created. Oh my fucking God. Also, it's not Rhino time yet. It's 8:29, not 8:30. I have 30 more seconds. You fucking jealous lover. And so this says, oh no, it exceeded its orders. Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. Anyway, that was Silly Conversations, and I'm sorry that I wasn't able to extrapolate more on that video because I'm currently getting knocked on by somebody who is less scared of Roko's Basilisk than I am. It's Roko's Basilisk, Will, not the Rolo Basilisk. Anselin, god fucking damn it, what the fucking... Oh, god balls, fuck. Go check out Silly Conversations. Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitta, you know I'm not saying that last part, Sylvie Snow, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.